Let me say this. Feature-wise, the Rakta Now is probably the best gaming mouse Rackears has ever produced. It has pretty much all the features I wanted on a gaming mouse. It includes an integrated display, crispy tactile buttons, a tight and satisfying scroll wheel, almost perfect shape, size, and weight, tri-mode connectivity, and a charging dock to eliminate battery anxiety. However, my experience wasn't as smooth as I had hoped. More on that later. But yeah, the Rakta Now is one hell of a feature-packed budget wireless gaming mouse that is worth checking out. Here, let me explain. Let's get into it. Before we start, as always, honest disclaimer, this video is not paid, but Rackears did send an early sample for me to review. They will not review this video though, and will see this at the same time as you do. This will be a proper review with all of my honest experience and thoughts. With that said, let's jump straight to the design and construction. By the way, for my international viewers out there, Rackears is a local brand here in the Philippines, so feel free to skip this one or stay if you're interested to learn what they have to offer. Now, let's address the elephant in the room first. While the Rakta Now has a few similarities with the Attack Shark X6 and the Aegis AJ219, Rackears reiterates that the Rakta Now is different. It uses a different mold and has a couple of features that the others don't have, including the integrated display and the mouse glider around the sensor. If anything, the Attack Shark X6 and the Aegis AJ219 look more similar to each other compared to the Rakta Now, especially on the DPI buttons. But still, there's no denying the fact that they look quite familiar. I'm not gonna ignore that. With that out of the way, let me pop the specifications on the screen so that you can get a good idea, especially if you want to compare it with the others. Now let's take a look around the Rakta Now. The Rakta Now features a symmetrical shape with a slim body and relatively short bump, perfect for the size of my hand. It also features the typical rubberized coating, but if it's not enough, you can attach the included grip tapes. Construction-wise, it is fairly built, weighing around 55.7 grams. It doesn't have any unnecessary squeaking sounds when you press around the shell, but it does have some rattling sound when shaken. Here's a quick sound test. Now, the primary buttons feature a nice curvature that guides your fingers to the right spot. As for the micro switches, we have the familiar Wano Blue Shell Pink Dot micro switches that I like. They offer sharp click and tactile feedback with enough weight resistance. It also doesn't have any pre or post travel, which is appreciated. This is definitely one of its strong points, especially for its price. As you've heard on the sound test, the scroll wheel is also good. It doesn't have any side-to-side wobble or any annoying squeaking sounds. This one uses the TTC Silver instead of the typical TTC Gold. The notches and clicks are good enough, but not as tight and crispy as I would have wanted. Now, instead of the typical DPI buttons, like the ones on the Attack Shark X6 and the Aegis AJ219, Rackears used a more innovative and functional approach, replacing them with a nifty OLED display that shows some valuable information like DPI, battery life, and connection mode, which in my honest opinion is better than the ones with a display on the dongle, like the DarmoShark M3 and the WL Mouse Beast X to name a few, for a fraction of the price at that. By the way, the screen also doubles as an actual DPI button, so you're really not missing out on features. However, I would have to say though that it's too close to the scroll wheel that sometimes I accidentally click it, changing my DPI value in-game. It happened to me at least twice, so just be mindful of that. It may very well be a user error, but I just have to share that as well. Now, moving around looking at the left side, you'll get a good view of the relatively short bump towards the rear end, allowing for fingertip and claw grip styles. We also have the forward and back buttons that, while a bit slim, are good enough and placed at just the right location. No unnecessary adjustment to the grip is needed to press these buttons. These buttons use the Wano 3M micro switches, which are lightweight with decent click and tactile feedback. The other side is essentially clean, and in front you'll get a better view of those grooves on the mouse buttons. The opening of the USB Type-C port is a bit narrow, so compatibility with third-party cables might be limited. Speaking of cable, forget about using this in wired mode using the included cable, as for some reason, they've decided to use a quite stiff cable here. It's not a deal breaker, but I just have to point that out as well. Looking at the back, as I've pointed out earlier, it is fairly slim, and since my hand is quite small, this allows me to do micro adjustments easier. Lastly, at the bottom, we have 4 PTFE gliders, including one around the sensor. We also have the switch for the tri-mode connectivity, the pairing/mode button, 3 LED indicators for the connection mode, 2 charging connections, and the compartment for the 2.4 GHz USB dongle. It is also worth mentioning that the Bluetooth mode has 2 available profiles. This means you can pair this up to 3 different host devices wirelessly. Now, before we talk about its performance, let's take a quick look at the charging dock. While we don't have any RGB lighting on the mouse itself, we do have one on the charging dock. It's not customizable and it doesn't remember your settings because it doesn't have a built-in chip, but you can toggle the RGB lighting either by the touch-sensitive area around the rack logo or using the button at the bottom. At the back, we have a USB Type-A port and a USB Type-C port. You can connect the 2.4 GHz USB dongle here and use the included cable to connect the dock to your host device. As for the convenience of the charging dock itself, I'd say while a bit finicky at times, most of the time it snaps in place thanks to the built-in magnets. Probably the more annoying thing here is that instead of a non-slip rubber base, they decided to put an adhesive tape. You can argue that this will be more stable, but not everyone, including myself, wants to stick something on their desk, especially if you want to use this mouse in different locations. Other than that, this charging dock is definitely an appreciated feature, especially considering its price. As for the battery life, it can last up to 60 hours via the 2.4 GHz, and with the built-in display and charging dock, battery anxiety is something you need not worry about this mouse. Alright, so finally, let's talk about the performance. With a tried and tested PixArt PAW3395 sensor and a very good shape, I didn't have a hard time adjusting to this mouse coming from the Fantech Aria XD7, which is still my main gaming mouse. While they differ in shape, the slimmer body and shorter bump of the Racta allows me to use this quite naturally. The sensor is of course smooth and accurate. I also tested the 1000 Hz polling rate, and as you can tell, it's right about that range. However, as I alluded to earlier, at least for my review sample, I did encounter a few spin-outs during my testing. Spin-outs, as you can tell by this example, are a sudden unwanted flick, either upwards or downwards. I encountered it probably at least 4 times, and mostly it's because of a faulty sensor.
Hey, mouse mo.
I'm pretty sure it's not about my mousepad or PC because I've been using the same setup for years now and I haven't encountered this issue before. But to isolate things, I did ask one of my friends, Rashid of Tito Gaming, who also got a review sample, and he mentioned that he didn't encounter this problem. To go the extra mile, we even swapped our mouse and tried it on our end for a few days, but up until this time of writing, we haven't encountered the issue again. But here's the thing, it's super hard to replicate this, it's super random. While this may very well be an isolated case, I still need to share that with you. I did ask Rackgears if this issue is covered by the 1-year warranty, and they confirmed it is, so there's that. I do hope that this is an isolated case because the Racta, like I said, is the best gaming mouse Rackgears has to offer, at least in terms of features and functionalities. Now, before we end this review, let's take a look at the software first. By the way, the software works on all connection modes, including Bluetooth, which is nice. As expected, it's pretty basic. You can customize and remap the buttons, record macros, and you can even create some predefined button functions to get some competitive advantage. I have no plans on using this, so feel free to explore it yourself. Of course, you can create different profiles, adjust the display settings to the exact value that you want, adjust the polling rate, change Windows mouse settings, adjust lift-off distance, key response times, and others. Overall, to conclude, for the price of just around 1,895 Philippine pesos, all the small nitpicking that I mentioned earlier, like the rattling sound, stiff cable, smaller opening of the Type-C port, and the adhesive tape instead of a rubber base on the charging dock, are essentially nothing compared to what this affordable gaming mouse has to offer. I mean, you cannot ask for gold if you can only afford silver, right? You just have to set your expectations right. Rackgears has never been for the nitpicky. They are all for the budget-oriented gamers. For that price, you'll get a mouse with decent construction, shape, and weight, with actual usable additional features like the built-in display and charging dock. The only thing that's bothering me here is the spin-out issue that I encountered. If not for that, it could have been an easy recommendation. Still, if you can get past that and are willing to try, I stand by my opinion that the Racta is the current best gaming mouse Rackgears has to offer, at least in terms of features. And there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Huge thanks to Rackgears for sending this in. I'll put some links below if you're interested. Again, this video is not paid. Rackgears will not review this video, and we'll see this at the same time as you do. By the way, huge thanks as well to Rashid of Tito Gaming for taking the time to help me isolate my issue. Kindly watch his review of the Racta if you haven't already. Now, if you have the budget, consider watching my review of the RG Keris 2 Ace gaming mouse by clicking this. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you appreciate this video, and see you next time. Have a great day, guys. You're awesome.